Greg, I guess a lot went on out there, but I just want to get your thoughts on the role of maybe their second chance opportunities and just the challenge of really kind of keeping their guards from creating and getting in the lane, the effect that had tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers tell you that, and 15 offensive rebounds for them. Something we had talked about extensively coming in, knowing that they shoot a lot of threes, and they want to try to track those down. They haven't been doing that at this rate. I thought, they beat us to just some loose balls at times. I thought we leaked out at times and gave a couple up in the first half when I took the timeout. But the offensive rebounding and then our turnovers, even though 12 is when you're in a 2-possession game, there's 12 times we don't get a shot, but specifically the offensive rebound. Now I'll look through the film and be able to get a better idea on the dribble penetration. I thought we were a little better at times defensively than what we were Saturday. But again, the ability to finish possessions with a defensive rebound is where they were able to make the difference tonight.
For different reasons, Steve and John Tonje serve vital purposes in offense. If they can't be individually effective, how limiting is that?
Well, there's ways that they can impact the game in other areas. I think defensively, you look at Steve's line, he has no rebounds. How do you have no rebounds? From that standpoint, I thought both Johns, I thought the ball stuck with them a lot. I think they didn't move it. I thought we actually moved it better with McGee and Janicki in. Both those guys have 3 assists, no turnovers. I thought that both Johns over-dribbled it at times. And then I thought Nolan gave us some really, really good minutes. I thought Gilmore gave us all he could. So there was some, it's other guys. If somebody's struggling or if somebody's getting, Tonje didn't get to the free throw line like he has been. Some of that is because we weren't moving the ball well enough to get him isolated and get some ability to attack. And the other part is, playing off 2 feet, things that we've continually talked about and worked with him on to get better at. The biggest thing is obviously our 4s and 5s, the rebounding. And I thought Nolan was active, aggressive. He's still young in terms of what he will be, but he showed flashes of how good a player he can be. So I was happy for him.
Mark?
Greg, probably the team's best stretch of the game maybe was that early run in the second half. I think you went from 7 down to up a point. What did you see during that stretch that maybe you were hoping was going to continue?
Well, we were able to finish possessions. We got them to miss. We were able to get defensive rebounds, and then we were able to do some things on the other end.
Nick?
Greg, you mentioned Nolan. Just how was that kind of exemplify someone playing through physicality, finishing through contact tonight?
Yeah, I mean, he's a really good player, and I think just scratching the surface of where he can be. But I like his willingness to go get in the mix. I mean, he plays 28 minutes, 29 minutes, and has 7 rebounds. I want him aggressive offensively. I want him hunting, looking for threes, because I think his potential is. You saw he put it on the floor once in the second half. He's still learning the art of post defense and the art of protecting the paint. But I mean, his production tonight is what we need out of him.
In the front?
Greg, I'm just wondering what your perspective is of what makes that backcourt of Boswell and Casper Sankashon so difficult to handle.
Well, Boswell's got so much experience. We played against him last year when he was at Arizona. So I know he's been struggling. Numbers haven't been what he has produced in the past, but just watching him on film, and obviously we had firsthand experience with him a year ago. It's a matter of time before he was going to get it going, and then obviously with Yakachonis, is that how you say it? Yakachonis. I'm getting better at my European pronunciations. But I mean, we saw him this summer in the FIBA stuff overseas, and we knew then he was, his vision. I mean, he didn't have a high assist night tonight, but just watching him before he even put on an Illinois jersey, knowing he's mature. He's played against grown men. Where he's come from, he's well trained. They do a great job of developing, and you get those 2 guys with Ivisic in the pick and roll and the pick and pop and put stress. I thought we did a pretty good job on Ivisic. But obviously, Yakachonis was able to knock down big shots. We fouled him. We got him to miss a 3 and fouled him. Gave him that one, which was a freebie. But he's what I thought watching him on film, and then when you see him in person, you're never quite sure does it translate. But he's a really good player. I mean, vision and poise, and you can tell he's listed as a freshman, but he's not. He's got more experience than a typical freshman.
Do a couple more, Michael.
You guys got into the bonus with
Mhm.
almost 15 minutes left in the game. I guess why were you not able to create more of an advantage at the line from that point on?
I didn't think we took. I only thought we took 2 bad twos. Klesman got to the rim a few times. One thing, you can't go 14 for 21 from the line. We left some points there when we've been the best in the country at converting. But it's also, Tanjay got there, doesn't finish at times. Again, going back to the playing on balance and playing off 2 feet and finishing some of those. So, and then they started switching more things and started taking some of the dribble drives and the gaps we were creating away at times. So, I'll get a better idea exactly. But I thought in terms of shot selection, other than not finishing at the rim, we didn't settle for too many bad ones, in terms of the long twos or the non-rim twos. It's 2 teams trying to do the exact same thing. They're trying to shoot rim 2s and 3s, and so are we. The difference was they were able to get a lot more of their misses than we were.
Last question, Ben.
Greg, did you learn a little bit more about the depth of your bench tonight, especially in the first half? I mean, you
Yeah.
mentioned Carter, but Janicki had some good moments, and Xavier hasn't played a
Yeah.
ton, but he had some
Yeah,
good run for you
Xavier
early.
did good. So I thought he tweaked his ankle. That's why I pulled him in the second half. He started limping, but says he's fine. But yeah, I told him I got to find more minutes for Janicki. I mean, obviously Gilmore, I think, has given us everything he's got and has really embraced and flourished in the role that he has. So those 2 guys, obviously, I know I can count on. I think Xavier's continuing to learn, and as we go through this, difficult stretch, but we have to get more out of Blackwell. We can't have him sitting on the bench with 2 fouls. We can't have Klesman sitting on the bench with 2 fouls, and we got to get Tanjay, obviously, being more efficient with his 15 shots that I think he took, and then obviously, with Steve. Then I have options. That's the nice part about having a bench. I can lean into the bench a little bit more, which I did tonight, and may have to do even more going forward.
All right, thank you.
Okay.